Hello, everybody. I'm Skip Alzheimer, and welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. It's Monday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. We had a great weekend here. I have goop in my eye. So that last film was a silent film. Official Films was one of these for films released for home use films and for libraries. And so there's a lot of stuff that they have there. The Piro films, some of my favorite films, are actually released, I guess were distributed by Official Films. There's also some soundies that kind of get released through that market as well. So that one was a silent film, but some beautiful footage. And it was probably a situation to where it was shot on 35 in the 20s or 30s, and then they repackaged it. So there you go. It's educational. All right. So let's go ahead and watch something on the telecine. In case you don't know, the telecine is that piece of equipment right there that was made in Germany and shipped here brand new a long time ago, probably 13 years ago. It's a workhorse, and we use it to show films live, films that I haven't digitized yet. And so this is an opportunity to see some stuff that we haven't seen before. And the challenge is making sure that I haven't shown it to you before. And I looked at my list, and so here is Courtesy is the Answer. And this is part of a series, the same people who also made Mr. Dish Machine Operator and Short Order Cookery, among some other things. So this is made for the restaurant and hospitality industry. So here we go.
In the nearly 200 different countries of today's world, hotels now number in the tens of thousands. Hotels large, hotels small, hotels of elegance, hotels of modest comfort, hotels in an almost infinite variety. And what makes some more successful? Why do guests choose them over others and return time and again? Their location, their architecture and decor, their public rooms, their food. They're all important. Sure they are. But what's the special plus every successful hotel must have, regardless of its size?
We can answer that.
Because we know.
It's service. And the key word to service?
Let's face it. It's courtesy.
That's right. Courtesy. La cortesía.
Good service, plus a little bit extra.
Now, our particular hotel happens to be a large one.
But it applies equally to establishments of all sizes.
And for each of us, the challenge comes differently. Sometimes once,
Sometimes a dozen times a day.
And in our hotel, the first challenge is usually mine. That first smile, the first magic touch in making them welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're checking in.
May I help you with that?
Yes, thank you. It's been a long time since we've been here.
You've stayed with us before, ma'am.
Yes,
Well, it's nice to have you back again.
thank you. I'll take that now.
I'll see to your luggage, sir. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
Smile of welcome and words of greeting that you mean. Putting those together in those first minutes of your guest's arrival can often set the tone for how they'll feel for their entire stay.
Following through on that spirit of welcome is normally my job, and at times it has complications. Can I help you?
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. John Tanner, it's our reservation.
Oh, yes, Mr. Tanner. That was for 2 nights. Oh, but this is for a suite.
Yes, that's right.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm very sorry. Tonight there's simply no suite available. Some of our guests who were to have checked out are staying longer. But I can accommodate you. I have a very nice corner room high up for you.
Well, all right.
That could be the end of it. After all, he's staying. But just a little bit extra consideration from me can mean a more satisfied guest. I'm sure we'll be able to move you tomorrow. And I'll be watching closely during the rest of the day, Mr. Tanner. If we do get an unexpected checkout on a suite, we'll be glad to move you at once.
Well, thank you. We'll appreciate that.
Well, thank you for understanding. Mr. and Mrs. Tanner to room 1207.
Hello. Will you come with me, please? Take care. Check out. Okay. All right, then.
Now, that was a fairly easy one. It gets a lot tougher when you're sold out and you have to keep them smiling while you try to find them another hotel. It's then that those magic words, I'm sorry and thank you, become really important. You know something else? It's surprising how many guests, even the ones who seem at first most difficult, can become really understanding about a problem if they once get the impression that you really care.
My job? Basically, it's the same. Again, following through with a spirit of welcome. A long trip?
Oh, only 3 hours by plane.
But I'm glad we made it before lunch.
You'll find the restaurants here very fine. The coffee shop is off the lobby to the north and the main dining room on the west. We're very proud of our chef.
Well, we'll have to test your judgment.
And the temperature control is right here, Mrs. Tanner.
It seems fine the way it is.
Oh, Ellen, you wanted to ask about the shops.
Oh, yes. Is there a gift shop in the hotel? And I'm sure you have a beauty parlor.
Yes, ma'am. There's shops in the arcade, and the beauty parlor is on the mezzanine. You'll find this shows all the hotel's services and facilities.
What about a children's store? I'll be shopping for our children.
There's a department store just 2 blocks down and to the right. I'll mark it on the map.
Well, thank you. You're very helpful.
Thank you, Mrs. Tanner. Would there be anything else?
No, everything's just fine.
Have a good day.
John,
Oh, yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Tanner. Remembering to call them by name, that's important. But also being ready with answers, that's part of being courteous, too. After all, a lot of people who check in are sort of strangers in a strange land, even if they speak your language. And sometimes they don't even do that. But it's your responsibility to make them feel welcome, regardless of the size of the tip you receive.
Some of us, of course, normally have our only contact with guests by phone, and that presents special problems. Room service, Carol speaking. May I have your name and room number?
Room 826.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Crandall. How are you today?
Exhausted and hungry.
We'll try to take care of that. What would you like, and for how many?
Well, there are 2 of us. No, wait a minute. Harry, are you going to stay in to eat?
Yeah, I'd like a steak.
Yes, just 2. My husband wants a steak, the sirloin.
How would he like it?
Very rare, but no potatoes. He wants some sliced tomatoes plain instead. He's on a diet. Now for me. How is that veal piccata?
Oh, it's always very good, Mrs. Crandall. It's one of the chef's specialties.
I'll take it. What is saffron risotto?
That's rice simmered with saffron and a little Parmesan cheese added. It's delicious.
Sold. And a green salad with Roquefort dressing.
Any dessert?
I'd like the chocolate mousse and a lime sherbet for my husband.
Yes, ma'am. Now, anything to drink to start with, a cocktail or wine? We have an excellent wine list.
A half bottle of a good Burgundy. You pick it. Your choice last time was just fine.
Oh, thank you. Now, let me double check this. Service for 2, a steak, the sirloin, very rare, with sliced tomatoes, and the veal piccata, saffron risotto, and the green salad with Roquefort dressing. 1 chocolate mousse, 1 lime sherbet, and a half bottle of Burgundy. Any coffee, tea?
1 coffee, 1 Sanka. We'd like that order as soon as possible. We're very hungry.
Very good. We'll do our best. Thank you, Mrs. Crandall.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too. Danny? Lunch for 2 for room 826, and the sooner the better. And please be sure that the steak is rare. On my first day here, the girl who gave me my job orientation provided me with 1 critical piece of advice. No, 2. The first was to listen. Really pay attention to every word that a customer says. The second, to always repeat every item on the order. Come to think of it, that's just another way of being courteous, because it avoids mistakes by you or by the guest. As for a smile for the guest, in my case, it has to be in my voice. But if they hear the smile, I guess that does the job too.
Carol, down in room service, at least contacts the guests by phone. Sometimes I never even see them. But I do see a good deal about them by the room they leave me to do. The good mornings I get from a guest can be a stack of newspapers he's left strewn all over the floor. The "How are you today?" can be valuables left on a table I know better than to move or even touch. The "Have a nice days" I get can be a bathroom that if one of my children left it like that, they wouldn't do it twice. But not all guests speak the same language in that way. And I do try to speak to them all the same, the one way I can. By leaving a room as neat as I'd want to find it if I were the guest coming back to it. When I'm finished with that bathroom and the room itself, I've shown courtesy, whether they always know it or not, with the job I do.
Now, when it comes to the question of facing a number of different guests every day and the problems that come with them, there's always my job. I'm sorry.
I hope you realize you've just ruined 3 days' work, young woman.
I am sorry, sir. It was my fault. I should have spoken. Did any get on your clothes?
No, but these papers, just look at them.
I'm very sorry, sir. I'll get you another soup. Uh-oh, I forgot that little bit extra. After all, I'm sorry is the least you can say. But giving a bit of special consideration is even better. Sir? About those papers, I'm sure the hotel can have them retyped for you. I'll even take them to the office myself. I'll get you another soup.
Wait. What's your name?
Marcia.
I'm sorry, Marcia. Actually, it was my fault.
Thank you.
Forget the soup, but bring my main course right away, will you? I'm running late.
Right. The guest is always right. Boy, is that tough to remember sometimes. But more often than not, when you tell them that, it works, even if they're wrong. All of a sudden, they feel you're on their side. Cesar?
Whatever it is, they're 4 ahead of you.
Just 1 ragu, Cesar, please, for table 27. He's in a hurry and I'm in trouble. I spilled his soup.
Okay. For you, I do it. You know why? Not because you spilled the soup, because you ask. You don't yell, you don't try to slip your order in ahead. You ask, you get.
Thanks, Cesar. You're a doll.
Indubitably.
You know, that's another side of this whole idea of better service through courtesy. Please can be another magic word. And if those of us who work together consider each other, it's bound to reflect on how we treat our guests. The better we can get along among ourselves, the better the job we can do for them.
The final challenge? Very often, that one is mine. And if there's one time courtesy is all out important, it's when that guest is paying his bill. May I help you?
Carlin, 424.
You're checking out, Mr. Carlin. We hope everything was satisfactory. Did you have any additional charges this morning, sir?
Well, I'd have told you if I did.
I'm sure of that, sir. Some people just forget.
What's this? That high a charge for one day?
No, sir. That's just the cumulative total through that day.
Oh, yeah. But here, now this isn't ours. Room service yesterday for that much? It's ridiculous.
The charge did come through, sir, for your room.
Well, it's wrong. You take it off.
Would you excuse me a moment, Mr. Carlin? I'll have to check this with my supervisor.
Miss, never mind. George, that is our charge. I invited Cousin Helen in for lunch while you were at the conference. Actually, I wasn't hungry. I just wanted
Well,
a
it was
little
quite
bit
obvious that your cousin Helen was. Then when isn't she? Take my advice, young lady. Never marry anybody with relatives. There you go.
Well, thank you, sir. And do come see us again.
We plan to, thank you.
That lunch bill. All that for Helen? What'd she eat?
Well, for an appetizer, she started out with a shrimp cocktail.
Be sure that the bill is correct and that you can make all the charges clear in a helpful, friendly way. That's the key to sending them away satisfied at payment time. How they really feel about paying that final bill depends on how you and everyone else on the staff have treated them while they were your guests. When they leave smiling, we know we've all done our jobs.
Make them feel at the start they're welcome. And remember that smile.
Have them realize you're trying your best to meet their needs. And use the old magic words, thank you, and when you need it, I'm sorry, and mean it.
Be ready with special help or particular information they may need.
Listen, 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 with patience and a smile, and avoid misunderstandings.
When we all work together, like friends, we do better for our guests.
Let the work you do speak for you to each and every guest.
Remember, the guest is always right, even when he's wrong.
And make paying that final bill almost a pleasure.
Add those all together.
And you've got it.
The secret that brings new guests.
And keeps old ones coming back.
Being thoughtful and considerate.
And smilingly helpful.
And understanding.
Good service plus a little bit extra.
Finally, it all comes out to just one word.
Courtesy.
Take it from us. All of us.
It's the answer.
I love that series. I mean, these were obviously shown to hotel employees and restaurant employees and resort employees. This was a way to, part of the orientation, the training. Like, now we're going to watch a film. I think that courtesy can be the answer, but I also think that some people take advantage of that. And we see examples of that all the time. This next film is a beautiful cornet film, shot in 1947, released on Kodachrome. And it's about oxygen. Love is like oxygen.
Almost every living thing on Earth depends on oxygen for the support of life. Let's see for ourselves just how important oxygen is. Both of these jars contain oxygen in the air, so the mice are normally active. But if we introduce a little more oxygen, that mouse becomes much more active. Meanwhile, the other mouse is using up his oxygen and gradually becomes sluggish and inactive. Now, as pure oxygen enters the jar, watch his almost dramatic recovery. This property of oxygen in supporting life is used in many ways, for example, in high-altitude flying and in medicine. Another great importance of oxygen is in the burning of fuels. The candle flame is bright and full in the air of the room. As the oxygen in the air is consumed by combustion, the flame dies down. But more oxygen restores it, and the candle burns vigorously. We have seen that oxygen supports the combustion of fuels, and how important it is to living organisms. Fortunately, the Earth's crust is almost half oxygen. Oxygen occurs in the free state in the atmosphere, and in many chemical compounds, such as water, minerals, and plant tissues. Air is about 1/5 oxygen, and 4/5 nitrogen, with traces of other gases. Air can be liquefied by applying great pressure at a very low temperature. This liquid air is very cold, colder than minus 194 degrees centigrade. As the liquid oxygen-nitrogen mixture warms up to minus 194 degrees, the nitrogen boils, going back into gas. After most of the nitrogen has boiled away, we have nearly pure liquid oxygen, pale blue in color. Liquid oxygen boils at minus 182 degrees. The extreme cold of the liquid air destroys the elasticity of the rubber ball. This is mercury, a metallic liquid element at ordinary temperatures. Mercury freezes very quickly at this low temperature. And it is frozen solid enough to use as a hammer for this small nail. Oxygen for commercial or medical use can be produced from liquid air, as we have seen. When nitrogen boils away, the liquid oxygen can be vaporized and stored under pressure in steel tanks. Another way of producing pure oxygen can be shown by this electrolysis apparatus. The H-tube is filled with water containing a little sulfuric acid to make it conduct electricity. When electric current is introduced here, the water is decomposed into its elements hydrogen and oxygen. The decomposition of water produces twice as much hydrogen as oxygen by volume. 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen make up each molecule of the compound water. That's why we write the formula of water H2O. We have seen an electric current decompose the compound water and release oxygen. Now we shall observe the effect of heat on another compound, mercuric oxide. Heat decomposes the mercuric oxide, releasing the oxygen gas and leaving the pure element mercury. When we test, we are sure that's oxygen. We have experimented with a typical oxide, a compound of oxygen and just one other element. Now, let us examine a more complicated compound called a salt. Here is potassium chlorate, a compound composed of 3 elements: potassium, chlorine, and oxygen. The middle test tube contains only manganese dioxide. The third test tube contains a simple mixture of the first 2. As the temperature rises evenly in all 3 test tubes, we discover an interesting thing. At about 200 degrees centigrade, oxygen is being evolved from the mixture. From the manganese dioxide alone, no oxygen is being evolved at the same temperature. And from the potassium chlorate alone, only a little oxygen is being released. Since the manganese dioxide released no oxygen, it was not changed by the heat. But we see clearly that the manganese dioxide altered the decomposition of potassium chlorate when mixed with it, causing the rapid release of much oxygen. From this, we can state a rule. Substances which alter the speeds of chemical reactions but remain unchanged at the end are called catalysts. In this experiment, manganese dioxide in the mixture was the catalyst. We have decomposed compounds to release elemental oxygen. Now, we shall make compounds, or oxides, by chemically uniting pure oxygen with another element. First, we ignite a piece of a metallic element, calcium. Then we ignite a non-metallic element, sulfur. Now we let both burn in pure oxygen. Chemically, the oxygen is uniting with the burning elements to form oxides. We find that these oxides are soluble in water. And when we test with an indicator, litmus, we discover that metal oxides dissolved in water give basic solutions, while non-metal oxides, like that of sulfur, give acidic solutions. We have seen the decomposition of water to produce the elements hydrogen and oxygen. Here is a simple apparatus with which we shall reverse the process. Suction applied here draws air past the hydrogen flame. When the oxygen in the air combines with the hydrogen, water vapor is formed and condenses on the ice-filled test tube. Here is another demonstration of substances burning in the presence of excess oxygen. Soaking a cotton ball in liquid air gives a heavy concentration of oxygen, much more than in the surrounding air as the liquid air evaporates. Watch this gunpowder. Rapid oxidation reactions which evolve light as well as heat are called combustion reactions. Here is another type of rapid oxidation reaction that can be highly explosive. The tin can holds a candle and a funnel filled with fine dust-like powder. Any fine dust, such as coal dust or flour, will produce the same result. Now, the rubber hose and bulb will allow us to blow the fine powder loosely into that space where the candle is burning, and it will oxidize. But oxidation at that speed gives an explosion if the heat and gases of combustion are confined. Some oxidation reactions, such as rusting of iron, are very slow, too slow to generate perceptible heat. However, the slow oxidation of some substances will result in what is called spontaneous combustion. Here, we have soaked a bit of cotton in linseed oil, turpentine, and Japan dryer, which are often found in paint. At the start, the thermometer shows room temperature. But within an hour, If the heat of oxidation is not dissipated, but allowed to accumulate, the temperature will have risen to a dangerous 350 degrees centigrade. Now, if a whiff of air gets to it, a fire results. That's the part that oxidation plays in causing fires where greasy, oily rags are carelessly thrown into a wooden locker or a drawer. If we observe and experiment, we'll have a better understanding of the physical and chemical world we live in, and the importance of the simple element, oxygen.
I love it. Kind of the disembodied, well, it's not disembodied, but there's no head. It's all hands and arms and, dang it, hold on. Anyways, I was going to show you something on the, I'll just run something else in the meantime. Here's another episode of that wonderful series Inside Out. It came out in around 1972. This one's a little bit different. It deals a lot with the emotional aspects of being a kid. And this one's called Because It's Fun.
Feel happy when I play like that because, well, it's just so fun.
Well, it's fun, and I also like rough games like that, and it's fun.
I love the outdoors. It's the best way to spend the day. The only thing that really counts. You only get to be a pro because you win.
Probably a league championship unless they lose their next 3 games. Recapping today's action, Redskins win it 24-10 on 3 Charlie Taylor touchdowns.
These guys are the best, and I want to be a pro.
17 and 53 yards. Kurt Knight added an insurance 30.
I'm going to go play with the 6th graders, even though that's a big challenge for a 4th grader, but I'm going to win. I don't understand kids who don't want to win. Jumping rope is a lot of fun. It's something that girls can do and boys can't. What a waste of time. I like to roller skate because when I roller skate and my friends would laugh at me, and then I'd laugh back, and it's a lot of fun. At least there's a roller derby for those kids.
Okay, Fred, you go first.
Okay, give me Walter.
George.
Give me Brian.
I'll take Bruce.
Jack. Come on! Pick me. I can handle guys twice your size.
Greg. Randy.
Pick me. Okay. Pick me. I'll show you. I'll run circles around you guys.
Gerard. Keith.
Okay, I'll take you, Bill. That's great.
Okay, you guys, now it's been covering Bill. Okay, Bill, you block on the line for a while, and you go straight to the right, okay? And I'll pass you there. Danny, you go take about 2 steps and go all the way to your left, and Brian, you can go just straight out, but Jack and the rest of you guys block.
Ready?
Break! Come on, let's go! Down! Set! Hut 1, hut 2!
All right, keep your legs straight, elbows locked, very good. That's it, good swing, very good. All right, dismount, let's have a good dismount now. Very good dismount. Legs straight, off, very good. Okay, go to the other side. Next, Anita. All right, very good. Swing, swing, around the world. Very good, let's have a good dismount. Very good. Okay, next. Okay. Now you got to keep your elbows locked on that. Legs straight. That's an important thing. Be relaxed.
Hey, Sam, you should see, we were playing the 6th graders. They were winning by 1 point. Then they threw me a fantastic pass. I was tearing like crazy, and I got right around them, and I went right into the end zone, and we won by 6 points. Golly, man, that's really great. What are you standing here watching this for? Oh, I'm waiting my turn on the parallel bars. That's dumb.
What in the world are those creeps doing? That's ridiculous.
you doing? Nothing. I'm just watching. Why aren't you playing with the other kids? Well, I don't think I'm good enough. Did you know that I played with sixth graders? You did? How come they let you play? They know I'm good. And I also scored the winning touchdown. Nobody touched me the whole way. That's terrific, Bill. Yeah, and they also asked me to play next week. They did? Oh, go Cream Market tetherball. See ya. Good luck. Hey, Mike, want to play a game of tetherball? Okay. We got selfish. Oh, why didn't you say so? Hi, Bill. What you doing? Are you okay? Are you all right, Bill? You all right? I'm okay. Leave me alone. That serves me right for playing these silly games. Besides, you ran. All you want to do is win. And leave me alone. Try it again. And get a little closer. Come on, I know you can do it. Get closer on it. Good shot. Come on, you can do it. After that, you gotta get it through or you'll die. Another good shot. Probably be pretty good if you really worked at it. You have to practice and really work hard to be a winner. I guess all sports can be fun, as long as you're the best.
Inside Out is a series of programs and related materials developed and supported by 32 educational agencies in the United States and Canada, with additional support from Exxon Corporation. This program was produced by WNVT, Northern Virginia Educational Television, under the supervision of NIT, National Instructional Television.
That was great. I'm sure it was triggering. I saw some comments that talked about being picked last when they were picking sides. I was traditionally always picked last, unless I had a friend who was the captain of a particular team, or if it was dodgeball. I was really good at dodgeball. I wasn't good at any other sport, but I was good at not getting hit by a ball. In fact, the other sports that involve balls, I probably worked hard to avoid trying to catch a ball. Because at one point, puberty hit me, and I got incredibly clumsy. I grew a bunch, and I was like, bleh. And nobody ever really worked with me to get that coordination. I was always tripping over myself and gangly, and as I'm sure many of us are. But you know what? That's in the past. Those people were jerks. Those kids were jerks. They were just picking their friends to be on teams. Where are those kids now? Didn't do very well based on my class. All right, so I just wanted to say before I'm going to show the last film, thanks for watching us. You can help AV Geeks several ways. So one way, the easiest, is just to hit like and subscribe, ring a bell, that's some YouTube bell. You can comment and share with other people. I mean, the idea is getting eyeballs on this. Another thing you can do is buy us coffee. I drink not a lot of coffee, but I drink some coffee, and if I don't have it, this doesn't work. The brain doesn't work. None of this works, which means that I can't thread a telecine. I can't figure out what files to click and all that stuff. So you guys have seen examples of me being in a fog. So you can also go to avgeeks.com and see other things that we have digitized and other shows we've done in the past. And finally, I just added something. One of the things that some of our viewers have done in the past is help us shot list. And what that means is they look at small clips of films from our collection and write descriptions and keywords, and there's certain criteria. And the idea is this is what we do for stock footage, so people can find individual clips, and this is another way that we make money. And so what I've been doing is kind of like piece work, in that I give people a film which has 20 or 30 clips on it, sometimes more, sometimes less, and they fill out a spreadsheet to the criteria that I've specified, and then I pay them. The starting rate is like 50 cents a clip, and it's good for beer money or some extra money on the side. I don't recommend living off of this because I don't generate as much content so that someone can make a living wage off of it. But a lot of people like it because they get to see stuff, other things, and it's a lot of fun. So if you're interested, email me at avgeeks@gmail.com. And that's one way that you can help AV Geeks, and then you also can make some extra cash. I pay via PayPal, and I pay, it's not like Fiverr where you get paid at the end of the month. I pay you as soon as you finish your work. So give me a holler. All right, it took me forever to kind of set this thing up on the telecine. It's a short film. Doesn't have a title, doesn't have sound, but this is, it just says archival on the can, so here it is. I haven't seen this, so hopefully it won't get all racy all of a sudden. Here's archival subway station. Well, there you go. I think the splice broke. So, anyways, no sound there. If you're interested in stuff like that, like archival, like little clips of things, then shot listing might be for you. Is a career for shot listing for you? Maybe I should make that commercial based on that awesome 70s series. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in today. It's very much appreciated. And we'll be back again tomorrow, Tuesday, with 1 o'clock. More films. I'm excited that we're able to actually pull some films and watch them. If I get a wild hair, I'm like, ooh, I want to see this film. Then there's not this me having to schlep it to another location. It's literally just on the other side of this house. So I'm happy that you're here for that. As always, we look inside the film can to kind of teach us things, and this to ask us to please rewind and love each other. And so include yourself in that. Many of you are returning your lives back to normal, but there's still anxiety and anxiousness related to getting back into the world because we haven't been in the world for a while. So this is a time to take care of yourself and ease back in. Don't jump in the deep end. That's what my wife and I have had to do. So everybody take care, and we will see you tomorrow.